Byron Horton here with XOP. Really excited to talk today with Brock about his baby, rock climbing harness style inspired hybrid harness, I'm gonna call it, the Holiday. But this has been 2 years in the making, I feel like, and now we're ready to bring it to hunters across the US. Can you tell us a little bit about your overall thoughts to bringing a rock climbing style harness to the hunting space?
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's something that I've been using since I started hunting. You know, I was using my black diamond harnesses and my Petzl harnesses to do the same job that this one does, essentially. Now we've added some features on it to make it more hunting friendly, like the lineman loops as well as the molle, right? So you can have some different attachment points while you're climbing the tree, as well as places to put any extra bags you might want to carry out with you. Now on this one particularly, we've focused on weight, right? So being a hybrid harness, it's meant to go out and pack out and be super, super light. So this thing comes in at 12, right around 12 ounces actually, which is as good as it gets as far as a harness goes. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna back you up a little bit. When you went to go hunting and saw like the traditional over the shoulder, I'm gonna call them full body harnesses, did you just say, wait a minute guys, like there's already a better option? Or did you try the harness and go back to the rock climbing harness? How did you think that hunting from this was going to be a better option?
So I tried the harness one time.
Okay.
It took me one time to realize that that's not something I really wanted to use in the woods. And now that's a personal preference. Each one of them has their pros and cons, right? Mm-hmm. This one is great. It's lightweight. It functions really well when you're climbing the tree, and it does really well as a hybrid harness. Now the other one I think is a little bit more user friendly. It doesn't take as much knowledge to use, right?
Oh, sure.
And so there is that aspect of it where this one, to use it and be really efficient and safe, you actually have to have some experience and knowledge to be able to accomplish that.
And I would say too, like hunters are transitioning, right? Mm-hmm. In the past, a lot of us have had preset stands, and you just walk out there with your vest style harness and go up the tree. But this kind of fits where the industry, where the space is shifting to as far as the mobile hunting is concerned. Now, when you were hunting out of a traditional rock climbing harness, what are some things that you've added into this one where you're like, a hunter needs this added to the core?
Yeah, so a couple things I mentioned before was the molle, right? So I feel like that's a necessity for harnesses these days, just to make sure you have everything where you need it, right?
Okay.
The lineman loops as well, they're to help climb, right? And then just making it easy to put on and off, right? So I actually pack this out with me. I don't wear it out into the woods more often than not. And so making it easily put on over heavy layers, so it's adaptable between seasons.
Okay, so you pull this in and out your bag.
Yep.
I can see here you've put orange on the inside, which is always nice if you're going to try and find a loop in the dark.
Yep, 100%.
As far as like the molle, who isn't a gear tinkerer or customization type guy, like that is the mobile hunting community. So I can see why you'd want to add that in there. Where do you feel this really shines in the hunting space over a traditional harness? Like a guy like myself, I've done some hybrid hunting, some saddle hunting, but I've dove into the rock climbing harness a little bit, but not full send.
Yeah, so a couple different things. So I think the packability of it is fantastic, right?
Oh,
so,
sure. Jamming that in a bag after a morning hunt to go scouting.
100%. I mean, it packs down to something about, as big as an Nalgene, smaller than that even. So that's fantastic. The weight is another one where, we're all shaving ounces wherever we can get it. 12 ounces is a hard one to beat, right?
Oh, wow.
So that's fantastic. The other thing is the climbability of it. So personally, I like to stay tethered to the tree at all times. You can't really do that with a traditional harness because it's coming from your backside. And now you can kind of do it, but it's a little bit weird. I don't really want my face hitting the tree if I happen to take a fall. This one, you have a frontal attachment. So if you do happen to fall, you just kind of swing it right into the tree and no harm, no foul.
Okay.
So.
I could see too, guys, the bino harnesses are very popular, whether you use the bungees or the traditional like pouch system on the front of the chest. You've freed up all this space and you're not restricted. You start putting 2 or 3 things around your chest and shoulders. Well, that's what you use to draw your bow. So like this has no restrictions in
100%.
that realm. I could see that being a huge advantage.
I am really excited because this is coming to the market soon. I believe it is going to be available in, just in a few weeks actually. So.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to get this in the woods. Do you have any final thoughts as far as tips and tricks for a guy transitioning to this? that he should be aware of?
I think just like anything, it's all about practice. So watching some videos of people who are familiar with the product or products like it, and really taking it out and putting it through its paces before you start to climb up high. So.
And then as far as the hybrid hunting, right? That is a phrase that's become very popular here recently. This harness allows you to do that, where you can face the tree with a regular tree stand, take a little weight off of your legs if you're more of a stander.
Yep.
And allows you to really shoot a lot of angles.
Yeah, exactly. And so hybrid hunting is it's such a strange thing. It's a fairly new concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's all the different styles that go along, even within that category, right? So some people are going to want a hybrid more like out of a saddle and that kind of saddle style because their preference is a saddle, and so they want to keep that. Now this one is more geared towards hunting in a tree stand as a tree stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has the capability for you to turn around and kind of lean in it and use it similar to a saddle as well, right? So obviously it's going to be more comfortable in a stand and not quite as comfortable as a traditional saddle. And now that's how I use it. I set up my stands almost primarily
To be on the backside shooting past the tree?
actually the opposite. So I sit in my stand more often than not. With a rare occasion where I need to, if the situation calls for it, where I'll turn around and I'll face the tree.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so late season I hunt the big woods a lot of times. I find myself using that tree as cover.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there are no leaves and the trees are telephone poles. So I hide a lot of times behind the tree, kind of shooting past it. And this would be a lot easier to use than, say, a true saddle. If
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wanted
It depends
something.
on the time of year and what you got going on, but I think that's where it shines. Is it's versatile in that way and capable of pulling it off whichever way you choose. So.
Very cool. And when will this be available?
Oh, this should be available at the end of June.
Very cool. I'm excited to use this fall.
Oh yeah.